Hey, good afternoon. Today I just want to share my knowledge on how to answer bar exam and law school exam questions using the 4 paragraph and 2 paragraph format. Now, ito ang format na to. This is for me, para sa akin, this is the easiest way for the examiner or yung nag-check ng exam papers mo to assess and to help him the easiest way to grade your examination papers. So, if you go to a review center, ito rin yun ang ituturo sa inyo. And sometimes in law school, hindi ka sanay na gumamit dito, but my advice is that as much as possible today, dapat alam mo kung paano gamitin yung 4 paragraph or 2 paragraph format in answering your law school exams para pag kumuha ka na ng bar, hindi ka na mahihirapan. Kasi ako nahirapan ako dito kasi sometimes sa law school, you do it parang parang billiard na tira-binta yung tawag sa amin diyan, kung saan kung ano yung malapit sa butas na number, yun yung ititirahin mo. Walang sequence, 'di ba? Minsan if you are already trained na to do it with using this format, much better kasi hindi ka na mahihirapan pag kuha mo na ng bar exam. Okay? So ano ba itong 4 paragraph format? Okay? So sa iba, yung tawag nila diyan is ALAK. Answer, A stands for answer, L legal basis, A application, C conclusion. Sa American style naman, kung nanonood kayo sa YouTube, meron diyan silang tinatawag na IRAC. Okay? So ganun pa rin, the same lang 'yan. How you answer first yung issue, i-cite mo yung issue, and then yung ruling, yung rule, either law or jurisprudence, and then analysis, that is your application of the rule, and then conclusion. Yan na yung mag-wrap up ng argument mo. And then ito yung clock. Okay? You have conclusion, and then legal basis, and then application, and then again, conclusion. So that's yan, naka 4 paragraph yan eh. Yan yung dapat yung makikita sa sagot mo para hindi mahirapan yung examiner. Ay, na-notice ko 'yan kasi ako teacher din ako noon when yung pinakapaborito kong gawing 'pag nag-exam, yung paborito kong gawin is multiple question, MCQ, multiple choice question kasi mabilis siyang checkan. Kaso lang mahirap naman gawin yung MCQ. Pero mabilis i-check. Yung madaling gawin is essay pero mahirap naman i-check. Lalo na pag hindi organize yung paragraph ng student mo. So ganito rin sa when you take bar, I think when I was reviewing, sabi ng mga nagre-review were previous examiner, sabi nila mas madaling i-check ngayon yung papel ng student ng bar examinee because sa Exemplify 'pag nakita nila, nakita na nila agad sa screen yung buong sagot ng examinee compared noon sa papel. Mahirap i-check yung sa papel. And you have to understand the first rule that you are writing for the examiner or the checker of your um, paper, bar exam paper or exemplify, and you are not writing for yourself. Yun nung bar 2024, ganito rin naman yung sabi ni bar chairman. Sabi niya, if you answer, you use 3-tiered, no? You have the conclusion, you have the legal basis, law and jurisprudence, and then you have the argument. Kaso lang kulang, hindi niya na nilagay yung another conclusion. Kasi yung dito sa clock, yung conclusion actually sa baba, inulit mo lang yung conclusion sa taas. So, para sa kay bar exam, Associate Justice Mario Lopez, enough na para sa kanya yung tatlo, yung 3-tiered. Basta nandoon lang yung tatlo, okay na yon. So, you see, yung mga bar examine, yung bar chairman, mayroon silang gustong makita sa papel mo. Okay, so ganito yon ngayon. Ito, number one. For example, we use 4 paragraph format. You use the clock method. Conclusion, legal basis, application, and then your conclusion. Okay? So example, Marco and Gina were married in 1989. 10 years later, or in 1999, Gina left Marco and lived with another man, leaving their 2 children of school age with Marco. When Marco needed money for the children's education, he sold a parcel of registered land in his name. Now, ito without Gina's consent, which he purchased before his marriage. The question is, itong question tawag dito call. Tawag dyan call. Is the sale by Marco valid, void, or voidable? Now, explain with legal basis. Now, first rule, okay? You have to understand the call. Ngayon, yung bar exam question, hindi ka na nangangapa kasi ang issue inilalagay na nila agad sa question. Pero ngayon, talagang magaling. They can rightly assess the knowledge of the bar examinee if because they already provided the issue agad-agad, right then and there nandiyan na agad yung issue. So you have to limit yourself to the issue what is being asked. Ito yung issue dito kung valid ba, void or voidable yung sale ni Marco ng parcel of land na walang consent ni Gina. So diyan mo lang ilimit yung sarili mo. I-contain mo sa mga provision na regarding sa property provisions sa family code para hindi na maglumutang yung pag-iisip mo sa kung ano-ano pa. So you have to limit yourself to the issue being posted agad. Na-post na agad yung issue eh. Okay? So ngayon, you go first to the conclusion. Ano ba yung conclusion? Yung conclusion mo is yung immediate answer mo. Yan na yun agad. Tirahin mo na agad, yes or no lang yan. So wag kang wag kang sumagot ng it depends. Patay ka na diyan kasi hindi malalaman ng examiner kung ano yung position mo. Yung hinahanap ng examiner is your position and then you have to defend your position. That's why yung advice sa amin sa review center is that your answer must be argument driven. So dapat kahit na mali, as long as madepensahan mo yan with jurisprudence, with law, then mabibigyan ka pa ng point ng examiner. Pero pag tama pero mahina yung argumento mo, baka hindi ka rin makakuha ng full credit. So dapat argument driven. Kasi 'di ba even yung mga judges nga nagkakamali, 'di ba? Kahit na nga yung mga abogado nagkakamali, but despite of that, pinapakinggan pa rin yung arguments nila sa court. So ganun din siguro sa mga examiner. Kahit na mali minsan yung sagot mo pero maganda yung argument mo, maybe you cannot get full credit but at least mayroon ka lang sagot. Maka 3 points ka, okay na yan, di ba? At least -2 lang. Okay. Now, another rule, wag mong iwanang blank yung yung question. Wag mong iwanan kasi automatic zero yan, walang credit yan. So -5 ka na. Imagine mo 75 yung passing. Pag hindi mo nilagyan diyan ng argument, baka zero automatic ka na diyan. Anong i-grade ng sa ng examiner? Pag 3 yung blank mo, di -15 ka na. Ilan na lang yung maximum points mo? 85 points. O sigurado ka ba na 5 points lahat yan? That's why kahit na litong-lito ka, wala ka ng makapa, maghanap ka ng basic doctrine na malapit-lapit sa question at saka isagot mo. At least maka 2 ka lang diyan or maka 3 ka lang diyan, okay na 'yan kaysa sa 0, 'di ba? Lamang loob din 'yan kung sa ano pa. Kaya never leave blank the questions. Never leave blank. 20 questions 'yan. May 4 hours. Okay? So, ito kinuha ko yung sagot sa Escalona case 2022. Ito na, conclusion ka. Okay? The sale by Marco of a parcel of land without Gina's consent is void. Okay? Yan yung conclusion mo. O, kita agad ng examiner, di ba? Oy. Okay, very good. Ito, mayroon na siyang posisyon, konklusyon. What's your legal basis? Bakit mo sinabi yan? Hindi pwede na opinion mo lang kasi nag-aral ka pa ng batas, opinion mo lang rin pala yung hugot mo. So yung hugot mo, either um, law, specific provision of law, or jurisprudence by the Supreme Court. Okay? Or basta mga dalawa lang naman yung usual dyan sa bar exam question. Dito, yung legal basis ko is jurisprudence. The Supreme Court has sealed the Supreme uh, jurisprudence dictates. So depende sa iyo. In a case decided by the Supreme Court or in a similar case decided by the Supreme Court, pero siguruhin mo pag kinot mo yung in a similar case, yung quotation mo is similar talaga sa facts na binigay kasi baka ma-detect ng examiner na niloloko mo lang siya na wala namang hindi naman to similar sa case decided by the Supreme Court. Kaya mahirap yan kasi bar exam to, hindi ito law school exam. Huwag mong bulahin yung examiner, baka mainis sa'yo or ma-irritate sa'yo. Baka imbes na maka 5 points ka, na minusan ka pa. So, the Supreme Court has held so jurisprudence that alienation or encumbrance of conjugal property made after the effectivity of the family code without the consent of the other spouse is void. Yan. Sinetol yan ng Escalona case. Kasi noon, yung property, pag yung status niyan, ang daming desisyon ng Supreme Court pa iba-iba eh. I think voidable yung before the kung kinasal kayo before the family code, wala pang family code, I think yung status is voidable yung sale diyan. Pero sa after the family code, yung status is void na. Klaro na 'yan sa family code. Kaso lang may mga cases na kinasal kayo prior to the family code, but ang sale ng property happened after the family code. So there is a confusion. Pero sinettle 'yan sa Escalona case. Yung reckoning point diyan is that yung as long as yung property was made after the effectivity of the family code, automatic yung family code provision apply. Retroactive siya. So, void ang sale kung walang ano. Hindi na siya voidable, kundi void na talaga. Eh dito sa case na to, kung titingnan mo, application niya, yan yung legal basis mo, yung jurisprudence, yung application tingnan nyo. Here, Marco and Gina were married in 1989. Hence, the sale of Marco of a parcel of land without Gina's consent was made after the effectivity of the family code. Yan. So, yung sale, kailan ba naging effective yung family code? 1988, diba? I think August 3, 1988. So, they get married in 1989. So, the sale was after the family code. So, void yung sale. So, yung conclusion mo is inulit mo lang. Okay? By the way, yung conclusion mo sa first part, ito, ah, i-echo mo lang. Yung tawag diyan echoing method eh. Echoing method. For example, is the sale by Marco valid, void or voidable? I-echo mo lang yan. No? The sale of Marco of a parcel of land. Klaruhin mo kung ano yung sale. Ilagay mo diyan parcel of land. Ito siya. Ito, parcel of land. Kaya nga, yung goal mo nga itulungan yung examiner para pag ano bang sale dito. Kasi para hindi na siya babalik doon sa questionnaire. Tapos, i-echo mo lang to yung call. Ito yung tawag dito yung call. This is the call. Tawag. Yan. Yung tawag yan actually is call. Yan. Hindi na yan mahirap ngayon kasi nandiyan na eh, may call. May issue na eh. Di ba? Um, so the sale of the parcel of land without Gina's consent is void. Legal basis, application ka na. Okay? So dito, ang basis mo dito, once ang sale is made after the effectivity of the family code at walang consent, void. So i-apply mo yan. Yung rule naman dito, dapat yung legal basis mo at application, may tinatawag sila na interlocking, nag-i-interlock yung mga wording mo dyan. Kasi baka yung quote mo, legal basis is ganito, pero hindi naman makita dito sa application mo. Wala namang interlocking of words. Anong interlocking mo dito? Ito. Alienation or encumbrance, di ba? Tapos made after the effectivity of the family code. Yan. After the effectivity of family code ka diyan. Tapos without the consent. Yan yung mga words na ginamit ko diyan. Pagdating dito, application mo, okay? Yung alienation or encumbrance, either gawin mong sell. Sell lang ginamit ko kasi para hindi ko na ulitin yung dalawang ito. Less words ka pa. Okay? O pwede mo rin gamitin the alienation or encumbrance made by Marco of a parcel of land. Yan, parcel of land without genus consent. Tingnan nyo, without genus consent dito, without consent din. Okay? Yan. So nag-i-interlock and then made after the effectivity of the family code. So dito made after the effectivity of yan, nag-i-interlock yan dapat. Huwag kang lumisa sa legal basis mo. Pag lumihis ka diyan, hindi makiki-interlock diyan, ang labas niyan walang connect. Hindi nagko-connect hindi coherent yung paragraph mo or yung ideas or thoughts mo hindi coherent. So wala ring chichikan sa iyo actually yung examiner kasi ito yung hugot mo, ito yung argumento mo, ito yung legal basis mo. Pagdating sa application mo, walang application. So dapat nag-ano yan. So dito, ang reckoning point kung void siya, if it is made after the effectivity of the family code, that is void kung walang consent. So dito, in-apply mo, since na ikinasal sila noong 1989, which is already during the family code, so an sale was made without the consent was made without after the effectivity of the family code. So balik ka sa conclusion, therefore, the sale was void. Okay? So hindi kailangan ko pa bang ilagay yung 1988? O pwede rin, pwede mo ring ilagay yan. Kaso lang yung problema kung nakalimutan mo. Pero para sa akin kasi sinabi mo na dito that the sale was made after the effectivity of the family code. So presumed na alam mo na 1988 yung family code. So siguro okay na yan sa examiner, di ba? Pero kung gusto mo talagang kwadrado sarado, di ilagay mo diyan yung August 3 yata 1988. 'Di ba? Yung alam ko lang 1988 eh. So, yan, ilagay mo diyan, insert mo diyan. Pero rule number 3 lang, huwag kang mag-over answer. Okay? Huwag ka lang mag-over answer. Yung unnecessary. Yung rule kasi diyan para sa akin, less talk, less mistake. Baka yung first sentence mo gusto mong flowery, hindi naman kailangan pero nilagay mo. Pero unconsciously nag-contradict pala yung mga sentence mo or narong grammar ka pa. Hindi, imbis na maganda yung intention mo, nagkamali ka pa. So, dapat ganon. Less talk, less mistake. Kung ano lang yung hinahanap, yun lang yung sagutin mo. Okay na yan. Ang dami-daming chine-check ng examiner eh. Example ngayon, 12,300 yata. 20, times 20 mo yan. Siguro, ano na yan, yung hanapin ng talaga ng examiner, yung sagot mo, hindi yan na yan. Hindi, it doesn't matter kung anong nilagay-lagay mo diyan, 'di ba? Kahit na ako nga siguro yung examiner pag nag-check ako, hanapin ko lang yung importante diyan, 'di ba? Another sa criminal law, Baldo killed Conrad in a dark corner at midnight on January 2, 1960. Dominador witnessed the entire incident, but he was so scared to tell the authorities about it. Okay? So in January 2, 1970, Dominador, bothered by his conscience, reported the matter to the police. After investigation, the police finally arrested Baldo in January 6, 1980. Charged in court, Baldo claims that the crime he committed had already prescribed. Ito naman yung call. Is Baldo's contention correct? Anong contention niya? Prescribed na daw. Yan. So, ilimit mo lang yan. Prescribed na ba talaga? Saan yung isip mo? Huwag nang lumutang. Pumunta ka na sa prescription of crimes agad. Yung isip mo, iset mo na prescription of crimes under the revised penal code. Now, murder to di ba? Another rule, tandaan nyo, pag nagbigay ng date, watch out for the date. Sigurado ako may significance yan. Tandaan nyo yan. Ito, tingnan nyo. January 2, 1960, the crime was committed. Kailan niya na-report? January 2, 1970. Tingnan nyo it prescribes in 20 years. Binigyan ka ng exact date, 20 years. Kung hindi mo nabasa yan, patay ka na. Hindi mo na tandaan yan, patay ka na. Okay? Pero yung argument dito is tama ba yung sinabi ni Baldo? He claims that that the crime he committed has already prescribed. Death or reclusion perpetua, 20 years. Murder yan, di ba? it prescribes in 20 years. Other afflictive penalties, 15 years. Correctional, 10 years. Life penalties, 1 year. Tama ko. Okay? So dito, he killed in midnight. Baldo killed Conrad in a dark corner at midnight. Yan. So, ngayon, inireport niya after 20 years ni Dominador. Inireport niya after 20 years. Okay? So, ano yung legal basis mo dyan? So, again, pag nagsagot ka ng conclusion, i-echo mo lang. So, i-echo mo, is Baldo's contention correct? Anong contention niya? Huwag mong sabihin, no, Baldo's contention is not correct. Kulang yan kasi yung goal mo nga is that sasagutin mo yung examiner. Dapat complete. So, ano ba yung contention niya? Ilagay mo rin. Brief lang, okay? No, Baldo's contention that the crime he committed had already prescribed is not correct. O, di ba? Clear siya. Matutulungan mong examiner ang contention niya na nag-prescribe na daw yung crime niya. Okay? Anong legal basis mo? Revised Penal Code. Now dito, under the Revised Penal Code. Okay? Huwag mong sabihin under the law. Kasi makikita ng examiner, hindi mo alam kung saan ay ang law, ang broad pa naman ng law. Anong klaseng law? Okay? Since criminal to, ilagay mo under the Revised Penal Code. Pero siguraduhin mo sa Revised Penal Code mo kinuha. Or pwede mo ring sabihin kung civil code yan, wag mo sabihin civil code kasi ang daming provision sa civil code. Kung under yan sa obligation on contract, sabihin mo under the civil code provisions on obligations and contract. So, or under the civil code provision on partnership, kung sa partnership yan. Or under the civil code provision on sale, yan. Or under the law on sale. Pwede yan, under the law on transportation or under the civil code provision on transportation. Kung saan dyan, mas hiyang sa'yo. Basta, wag mo lang sabihin yung generic kasi hindi may impress yung examiner. Wag mo sabihin under the law. Yan. Another rule, pero hindi mo na kailangang ilagay yung article. Kasi baka magkamali ka pa ng sulat. Enough na yan. At saka wala namang tao na memoryado yung article. Iba na lang sa mga articles na kilalang-kilala. Article 1 to 5 para sa Revised Penal Code. Yung mga about sa arbitrary detention, yan. Pwede mo yan. Pero siguraduhin mo na tama yung quotation mo. Di ba yung memory mo kasi minsan under pressure. Baka yung mga numbers magbalik-baliktad. Okay? So under the Revised Penal Code, okay, the period of prescription of crimes, 91 yan, Article 91. So kahit na alam mo, kahit na alam ko, hindi ko ilalagay yan dyan kasi baka mamali nga eh. Mamali nga ako. Akala ko tama, pero mali pala at the end. Baka ma-stress pa ako. Under the Revised Penal Code, the period of prescription of crimes commences to run from the day on which the crime is discovered. Okay? By the offended party, the authorities, or the agent. Yan ang legal basis mo. Yan nagkamali yung argumento ni Baldo. Kasi ang reckoning point is not at the day that the crime was committed, but the reckoning point is the day that the crime was discovered. Wala namang crime that is committed in a broad daylight, di ba? Usually yung crime kinicommit yan sa tago. So paano malalaman ng otoridad? Tago nga ginawa. Yung offended party patay na rin. Paano pa siya makaka-report? Di ba? So yung tendency diyan is ang witness. I-report niya yan. So kung takot yung witness at magra-run yung prescriptive period, if that is the basis, if the basis is the time that the crime was committed, wala na. Unfair. Kasi unfair na yan kasi yung witness matatakot talaga yan, di ba? Especially pag mga murder yan. Oh. So that's why yung under the Revised Penal Code, yung reckoning point, at that time it was discovered. And it can only be discovered if it is reported. Di ba? So diyan pa yung papatak, diyan pa papalo yung prescriptive period. Mali si Baldo dito kasi akala niya at the time it was committed in January 2. And then after 20 years ni-report na laman ng police, prescribe na. Mali kasi sa Revised Penal Code, yung prescriptive period at that time it was discovered. Kailan ba na-discovered? Nung ni-report. Kailan nang ni-report? January 2, 1970. Diyan pa nag-start yung 20 years mo. Actually, diyan pa nag-start yung prescriptive period. So here, the prescription of Baldo's crime commences to run only on January 2, 1970. Ayan. Ano ka naman? Interlocking ka naman. Tandaan mo. It commences to run on the day the crime was discovered. Okay? Sa authority under agent. Yung agent mo dyan is yung police. Okay? So, agent of authority sila. So, here the prescription of Baldo's crime commences to run only on January 2, 1970 because that is the time when the police discovered. Ayan, nag-interlock sila. I-highlight natin. Nag-interlock yan sila. Okay? Said crime. When Dominador reported the matter to the police. Yan. So, yan yung reported, discovered. Back to conclusion, i-copy-paste mo lang. Ganun lang siya kasimple. Ganun lang kasimple yung 4-paragraph format. Di ba? Pag tiningnan ng examiner, uy, ayan. Yung pinaka-importante dito, yung dalawa eh. Actually, importante naman lahat, pero may tingin ko dito, yung second and third dito, kababasahin ng dito kay grade ng ano eh, ng examiner. Yung meet mo ito eh. And then, wag naman na no dito. Pagdating dito, naging yes. Parang naging yes. May mga testimony na ganyan yung mga examiner na hindi nagkakatugma-tugma. So, dapat hindi ganyan. Yung ginagawa ko dito sa Exemplify, i-copy-paste mo lang to. Pinapi-paste mo lang to. Para hindi ka na mamali. Lalo na wala ka ng oras. Actually, may copy-paste naman sa Exemplify. Okay? Ano naman yung 2-paragraph format? Okay, ang 2-paragraph format naman, ang ganito. Yan, can the Congress do away with publication? Ang sagot mo dyan, no, the Congress cannot do away with publication of laws. The Supreme Court has held that publication is indispensable in every case, but the legislature may in its discretion provide that 15-day period shortened or extended. So, kahit na may facts pa dyan sa taas, no, 'di ba? Hindi mo na kailangang idagdagan yan, yung application ng application kasi parang sirang plaka kanyan. Na malalaman niyo naman yan eh pag nagtanong, malalaman niyo naman yan kung it demands a 4-paragraph or 2-paragraph. Kasi may mga question na hindi na kailangan na i-4-paragraph mo. Makasave ka pa ng time. Malalaman mo yan pag in-apply mo, parang sirang plaka ka na parang umulit-ulit ka. Yan yung test mo. Pag ganon, edi no need for 4-paragraph format. Okay? So makakasave ka pa ng time. So ganun lang. Hope na nakatulong sa inyo kahit kaunti and maging guide nyo sa pag-ano. Anyway, pag I advise you na if you have the means, enroll sa bar exam review kasi may tumutulong sa'yo. Iba yung nagre-review ka na may guide at saka iba yung nagre-review ka na ikaw-ikaw lang. Baka ma-confuse ka sa mga materials. Ang daming materials. You will be overwhelmed by materials and you have to study wisely. You have to study wisely talaga sa bar. Mamali ka lang ng materials na binasa mo, wala na, game over ka na. So, review center will help you na mag-focus sa mga essentials, latest jurisprudence, if you have the means niyan. Okay? So, that's all. I hope somehow it helps you and God bless also to your journey.